BYD update with news from the world's largest EV manufacturer. Last month, they did something that hasn't been seen in over 5 years. They had a down month. Now, all Chinese car companies see their January and February sales drop because they pull ahead sales into December, and then the Chinese New Year's give them all a hangover, disrupting their sales activities. But this is BYD's first month-over-month sales drop outside of that January-February timeframe. I can't find anything like it in the past 5 years. And it comes after BYD and other automakers got a stern warning about escalating price war and questionable sales tactics. So let's look at the numbers. So how bad were the numbers? Well, it was actually up 0.5% year over year. That's not too shabby. But compared to the previous month, it was down 10%. For most companies, stuff like this happens and you just say better luck next time. But for a company like BYD that has been growing consistently every month, it's kind of a big deal. BEV sales accounted for the biggest drop. Commercial BEV sales were also disappointing. I'd say the bright spot for the month was, can you guess? Overseas sales, which are sent via ro-ro vessel. It was steady at 23% of sales to the customers outside of China. Other automakers can't say that. It's really what sets BYD apart from its Chinese competitors. Thailand and now Brazil are making BYD cars. They count towards their overseas sales figures. A CKD, or complete knockdown operation, will start in Pakistan. That was confirmed after some comments earlier this year. That plant will take in parts and subassemblies from China for final assembly in Pakistan. Over time, they will look to source some of those assemblies locally in Pakistan. The Cambodia CKD operation, they said it would start later this year. The big news is the delay of the Hungary plant. Late last year, they confirmed plans to start by the end of 2025. But now they're backing off. Production is being pushed back up to a year later, and volumes will be smaller for the first couple of years. So I'm showing it reduced. Conversely, BYD said they would try to accelerate opening their plant in Turkey. Labor rates are lower in Turkey than Hungary. Although Turkey is not an EU member, it does have a customs agreement with the EU, so it avoids steep tariff on Chinese-made BEVs. BYD was planning to make different NEVs in Turkey than in Hungary, so I'm not sure they'll stick with that same plan or shuffle models around. PHEV models called DMI only have a 10% tariff from China, while full BEVs get a steeper 27% tariff. So there's more incentive to make BEVs at these plants. There was some new product news. BYD formally unveiled the Sea Lion 06, replacing the Sea Lion 6. Hey, naming isn't their strong point, okay? It's roughly the same size as the Tesla Model Y, but with a more upright rear glass like the Volkswagen ID.4. Launching first in China, it will eventually migrate to other markets like Europe, where it's sold today as the Seal 6. It's available as a plug-in hybrid, that's their DMI technology, or a pure electric EV. The Sea Lion 06 will be built on BYD's upgraded E-Platform 3.0 Evo, available with a choice of 2 different single-front motors or as a dual-motor all-wheel drive configuration. For the EV version with battery options of 65 kilowatt hours or 79 kilowatt hours, it provides good range. The hybrid version will offer over 100 miles of electric-only driving with a 26.6 kilowatt hour battery. The interior is clean with familiar, large, landscape-oriented center display. The exterior is a refinement over the previous model. What do you think of the styling? It is aerodynamic, but for all BYD's success, I think they could do a better job in the area of styling and make it a strength rather than just good enough. Sea Lion 06 features their God's Eye C or D-Pilot 100 smart driving system. That's their base system, but that doesn't mean it ain't any good, and it's about to get better. BYD will release a new Level 4 smart parking feature. That means the vehicle is in complete control for the parking maneuver. However, it is limited to a specific operational design domain. namely the parking space, garage, or parking lot. This capability will roll out to vehicles that previously did not have it, namely their mid-level God's Eye B and entry God's Eye C system. Intelligent driving technology has recently come under government scrutiny in China. To ensure customer confidence in the system, BYD will cover any associated losses should the system bump, scratch, or dent the owner's car or a neighboring vehicle. And honestly, I like the part of the video where the vehicle repositions itself to do a better job of connecting to the EV charger. I personally never liked backing a Tesla into a spot for supercharging. Pressing a button and having the vehicle position itself perfectly would be a very nice feature for all EVs. Other new NEVs we're expecting include the BYD pickup for China, a K-car for Japan. By the way, they sold 5,000 vehicles in Japan in July. That number is getting pretty significant over there. Waiting on the FCB Thai 7, that's a PHEV SUV. The Denza N8L, we expect to learn more about later this year with production early next year. And a convertible version of the Denza Z was spotted testing. Nice. BYD sells the Xi MPV outside of China as the M9. And guess who's soon going to be able to buy one of these funky PHEV minivans? Mexico.
We're not Mexicans. We're from out of town. We were wondering if you could tell us where the best hotel in town is?
Just a reminder, the US and Canada are basically the only major markets in the world where you cannot buy a BYD passenger vehicle. And, who knows? Maybe Canada joins the rest of the world if the US won't play nice on trade. Fengchen Bao vehicles will be sold in other markets as a Denza. For example, at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, Denza showed off the B5, which is actually the Bao 5. So they're merging those two brands for sale in Europe, and I think that makes sense. August has been a difficult month for me, so to wrap up this episode, here's a couple of lighter examples of BYD's marketing activities. BYD was announced as the FC Milano's global automotive partner, a follow-up from their Euro 24 sponsorship. And BYD is, I guess, like the official car of How to Train Your Dragon? Okay. Hey, it's not easy getting customers around the world to spend good money on a new brand that they haven't heard of. But their efforts are paying off and will continue to be critical for BYD to succeed outside of the cutthroat Chinese market. Until next time.